Starting out with another game of Total War 3 Kingdoms. We're here in the 190 expanded beta, the celebrated by many and myself mod pack, and we are taking a look at the Xianbei today. What do they do today? Now, generally, I think these are the mechanics from before, but I've never played them before. So as you get Path to Succession, you get gradually more desire for higher office, immune to fear and terror at the very top, negative fatigue, 10 morale attacking, and then, 25 to the lower there, and then so it makes people want better jobs the higher you get, but you get replen, morale when attacking, fatigue, all good stuff. And we have this ancestral legacy resource as well. Now, the Horde is the real thing we're testing here. The Horde and whether or not I can find a way to play this. Now this, alright, these are very expensive retinues, but there's no reason to break them yet. Alright, let's just, normally I'd be like, we can auto this. No, we absolutely need to never auto anything again until I learn how to play. This shouldn't be too tricky to do though.
三思而行，谋定而后动。 Given that they have literally only the worst of archers, and they have absolutely nothing to do here against us, so let's just see if we can not botch it, right? Should be easy enough to do. We outrange their archers. It doesn't mean that we won't run into their archer fire, though. But it's just archer militia, it's just one unit of them, and then our horse cav. Our cav archers should be able to, our bow cav, our cavalry archers should be able to pretty roundly defeat them, because we only outrange them by a bit, but should be enough. The Xianbei heroes get an ability in their tree to improve things. Sentinels have, oh, okay, the Xianbei horses, am I playing with the yeah, I'm like, the Xianbei horses are very fast. They're still very, very fast. They're so fast that it made me question if I was playing the right game. I'm like, wait, did I turn the rebalance off again? But I did not. We can see though that it takes, like a while to get any damage in with these cav archers, so certainly a prolonged thing. And here the question just becomes, right? Alright, so really we just need to test how good 4 units of cav archers can be. Because theoretically, oh, they do have Nature's Ally for 25% speed. Okay, well, maybe they're not that fast then. Still very fast though. 85 and then the modification. Yes. Oh, one of my favorite unit indeed, and they are very, very good. And now coming with 25% missile resist. 50 bonus for infantry, so they're, they don't have shields, but they do have, all the other great facets of the world there. Because before we get Northern Courage off, we do have to think about, well, I guess these guys have a ton of ammo. Okay, so Kuitou has a, some really nice effects. He gives a little lower satisfaction, who cares? He gives like 25% ammo to your ranged units, which is just an extraordinarily good thing to get. 25 is a lot. Alright, so we're seeing that, certainly, they can, our cav archers can eventually get some damage in. And if we have nothing but cavalry, sure, but if 4 of them can kind of tune up a couple of G militia in 4 minutes,
Because we don't have more than 50 morale is the problem. So we have to be able to win soon. I don't know what I think. We need to look at the cost of these cavalry very soon before we figure, like, what else is going on. Because G Militia, you know, they're a bit armored, but fundamentally they're the thing that we should be able to shoot. You know, they've got no shields, they've got no missile resist. But I mean, you know, red cavalry is what I would consider the primary use case for cav archers, right? Like, or like siege weapons, right? Because, you know, even with 60 in the unit, you know, that's still, you know, less than half of the shooting power of your typical archer. They do have a decent fire rate and a lot of ammo. I mean, it does take them like 10 minutes to use all of their ammo, which is Northern Courage. I feel like after we get our Horde buildings to level 7, it'll be a lot easier to excuse having a lot of these guys. But if we're highly mobile, of course, because the thing is, how long can we make the harass phase in a big open field battle be, you know, that's functional? But, I mean, we're bandits, right? So we'll get access to bandit gangs and stuff. So it's not like... this is the very first turn. You probably knew that. Oh, you were talking about something else, yes. Also, hello, Ironic. Nice to see you. Yeah, this is the very first battle of the campaign. Bum 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 bum. Okay, so this faction doesn't have raising. I guess that's probably just a Wuhuan thing, because their faction resource is chaos anyway, so they're more of a thing here. And of course, going to the bandit camp, the bandit minor settlements are tremendously superior to the Han minor settlements in general. Okay, we're paying 308 for these skirmishers. That is so many and 8. Alright. Kuitou is... Alright, who's our heir? Qianman, who is 14. That's not so bad. 10 satisfaction and 10% replenishment. Baller. Distinguished, brave, and charismatic. Good lad. Alright, what did we get when we were born? An eavesdropper, a clay axe, and a clay rat. Good news. I'm like, you know... Why don't we try out Shield Breaker, right? Well, because it doesn't make sense. That's why we don't do it. I mean, one of them could do it. Indomitable Flame. Alright, so when commanding, he gets negative retinue upkeep, charge bonus to and campaign movement. But what I think we're going to do here, right, is a split immediately. Do our supplies tank? No, not really. All right. So I feel like we have to do this turn 1. All right. So this is my brainstorming, right? I've been playing Yellow Turbans most of the day and watching YouTube videos. Haven't been streaming, but I've been thinking about this in my spare time. All right. So how it is now, I'm trying to demonstrate how busted this is. All right. So we build a traders and salvagers. It costs 500. We rush it for another 500. To get 200 back in Horde income immediately. And then... Can we build another building this turn? No. Oh, we got to get more building slots. Alright, and we do that again here. Because the 200 return on it is more important than the population growth, I think. And then we rush it. We build the main nomadic host. And we need to make 200 more. Do we have Diplo with anybody? Can I interest you in some stuff you don't care about? I just need a modest amount of money. Oh yeah, he's totally gonna pay me a modest amount of money.
如此慷慨，我方定当接受。
Let me go to the host there and there. I think this is the play and the early thing, because you don't have real threats because it's just Honoran, right? And so splitting them up is fine, and then we move them together over here, and the money should start pouring in. We didn't build something here, that's okay, is what it is, right? I think getting the Horde stuff online is more important than all of that. Alright, so we start with Xianbei Confederation, makes sense, and... Huh. I guess the Xianbei just have the starting thing here, because this is the Xiongnu side anyway. But yeah, so we gotta start on this side. I feel like taking even more replenishment, public order, I mean, yeah, why not? What's not to like about the faith healers of Chijo? And let's see how it's gonna go. Because starting in a neighborhood where you don't have Gongsun Zan breathing down your neck means that we can try to, you know, I should have dropped some of the retinues. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Not the beginning of the world either. It could be a different part of the world. Now we have access to 3 armies. I want to get a 3rd army up, like, pronto, like yesterday. It does cost so much money, though. We might try to find a Han general in the pool. That will be significantly cheaper than the recruitment of one of our own fellows, which is so pricey, right? Oh, never mind. Yeah. I lied. Alright, so... So these are people that are, I guess, generated for them. Yeah, I was like, there's a... None of these people are as expensive as I thought they would be. No, that's not what we want to do. I'm like, we have more important things to do than that. Alright, so what's going on in these forces? 308 is so many and 8. Alright, so say we drop one of them. Oh, it brings up a new recruit thing after it, you know, that'll be good sometimes. And then we drop one of these. We still have crummy faction support. Well, these 2 armies can still get it done with this, and that was just money we were throwing away, right? Yes, right.
摆好阵势，准备出击。威武不屈，挫其锐志，开战！向前进军。谁先来？
It's like here, of course, we've met some people. Not perfectly ideal. We could fight them and lose, perhaps. Or win, you know. That's always an option. So let's talk about economy, right? Everything gets industry. You can get, you know, from every purple building gives it. And then, like, you get it from some of the red buildings as well. And I'm all about it. Now we need to get a blacksmith up, right? Yes. Maybe we don't. Maybe. Okay, our public order is, totally tanking because our reserves are tanking because we have no faction support and no food. Alright, so maybe we'll need an army at home to put down a rebellion before long. He'll make people even more upset. It's not ideal. These guys are on assignment. He'll be good at it. They're all good at it. They're all... And of course, this faction is all sentinels, so they're all quite good at administering industry places. But anyway, let's...
我绝不动摇，锐不可挡。
We're just gonna auto this one. We've gotten a taste of the easy battles, you know, and then I'm sure we'll have a real one before long. Hopefully, this won't come back to bite us. No, our faction has decent dreams of doing well. We can, Hey, the loot is now unconfusing. You know, it always did the things that it did, but you know, and loot's labeled as loot, of course. Alright, so faction effects. This one says a bunch of strange things. Okay. Xianbei riders available for recruitment -999. Horse archers -999. Maybe that one goes away when we get something, and I just haven't seen that exists yet. But yeah, absolutely brutal stuff there. Have we met Zhongzhong? No, then that guy can't be a spy. He does, however, almost certainly have a terrible personality. Yeah. We're gonna recruit that guy. Do they generate... Okay, so when you generate one of the characters... Okay, and we get a builder and that. Okay, and they generate at a +1 level here as well for what it's showing. Just like the turbines do. I'm given... hey, Sense of Undertale, are you early? Yeah, a little bit. I'm given to understand that this is just a thing that happens because they're generated for the faction. He gets a roar. Sick. They do not generate with the fine horse of the people, but they do, which would probably be it would flood the game with 1 billion of the horses, right? 1 billion, exactly that many. But and when the retinues start out, they just start out with a normal axe band, so they get the tree, but not the hyper expensive retinues, which is just what we wanted, right? That is just what we wanted. So we got him here, and he's going to be able to start his dream, right? And now we've got him going. Got a new weapon in Doom Eternal? Oh, what is it?
坚定不移。 满怀信念，奋力一战。
Ah, the meager host. I'm like, why are we not replenishing at all? We shouldn't have done that auto. That was a bad choice. It'll be alright. It'll probably be alright. Might not. We might lose the game because of it. It's hard to say.
今日此战乃是大义之胜。
Yeah, I'm gonna need that guy to do admin. I've already made a terrible mistake. Taking that auto was dumb. I thought we were gonna replenish. I forgot that it's a hard knock life out here. I mean, it'll be fine. This is a very safe place to be born, right? Yeah, up here, north of the Yellow River, where north of the Great Wall, but in the Gobi Desert, where nothing bad has ever happened to anyone. This guy, oh my god, he's got... Alright, so we're gonna have to run away from him. I don't know if we should have come over here, actually. It'd be alright. We're just gonna leave this. We can't protect it.
我要视察一下他们的货物。剑已出鞘。
Alright, and then we rush these for just 200 gold each, right? And then we go here, and now we want to build the other banditry one. I think that's even more important than this population growth here, because you just, like, sort of get it, right? Yeah. We go here, and we can rush that for 500, so we will. Rush this one, and then... They'll just have to wait, but now we're up to 750 on the Horde income, which is listed as like a different thing than all of the regular inputs, right?
准备作战。
Alright, and we... Yeah, I want to get him here. So we'll be making plenty of money soon, and then we'll have lived through this little thing. Yes. It's like 42 turns to be replenished. 42? It'll be better. It'll eventually be better. Like, do they spawn looters in Wuhuan? I don't think so. Could, though. They certainly could. A mercenary contract against Sun Sui. You know, it's not a terrible idea, except I would rather take one from him against you.
如你所愿。
Wuwei, yeah, I recognize Wuwei and Shuofeng ones. I just didn't know if they were in other places. Because this is the new land above here. And this is where the previous thing capped out. Previous thing. The map, you know, the noun. And then we get that real quick. Actually, probably more Horde buildings is better. It's definitely better. Because it also, this one gives you, you know, food, but we can't build that yet because we got to build all this other stuff first. Ah, Confederation muster. 4% replen in foreign land. Diplomatic relations with northern tribes. Love it. Good stuff. Because the host is already supposed to get it. We need to see if that works. Here, you know, because it's got to counteract the other problems. Goes up to 20%, yeah. Pretty good. And the saddle maker makes things slightly more expensive, but I mean that 25% more range is of course going to make our cav archers at 250, and then if there's anything to make them even higher range, which we know there is, then once you go over 250, you get to do a lot of very fun things. But what we have to focus on is money. Yeah, artisans, that's where it is. And then here, we rush this one so that we can get started on an artisans here. I think doing this is the correct thing to do early. Just like, probably the correct thing to do is trim down these retinues as far as is possible. And just rely on, this dude's got sword guard cav? Sick. Yeah, I can't afford all that. And his armor gives him tenacity of steel. Get out of here. How are you so cool? And he's got flames. What? What? Who is this guy? How about running around with the other Xianbei when you're out here? Right boy. Right. There's a lot of opportunities to go nuts. And if you just sort of like go through the forest here, no, we know we can't beat the Nonman, right? We'll need infantry for that. The sling's is too good, right? Now we can find somewhere to start raiding people. Does it make money? I don't think so. These captains just cost so much. I mean, they're good, but 340, are they 3.4 times as good as an untried archer? I mean, they are better. They are better in every way. Alright, I gotta get moving. I gotta stay alive. What are we doing here? Why are we wasting time? We could raid just for loot. It's not really important, though. I guess we just stay over here. Yeah, because all you need to counteract the friendly loot, which is only -5, is like, one granary. And then you're fine, you're there, you're where you need to be. An alliance war against me? This is outrageous. How do you even know where I live? So, abstractly, you're probably supposed to throw in with one of these guys earlier, right? If you're not going for just trying to maximize horde building, which is what we're doing here. This is a macro... Some macro playthrough now. So, no, like we gotta these looters are very restrained in power in spite of having a trebuchet.
统一行进，把谋士叫来，身心再度融为一体。
Next level cost 800 gives you 125 more, so you know it's much, and 50% post battle. It's another 25 there, double that benefit. Tier 2 buildings all cost the same there, and I think yeah, we just rushed that one too. Yeah, just money, money, money. Just make an Avasong out of it. And then next turn we'll rush them. Because all we gotta do is stay alive, keep on moving. Whoa, and then everything's gonna be fine, right? Especially if no one steals our stuff from us for a while. By steal, I mean take the land that we just took from the Han. Stealing implies ownership. Like we learned in V for Vendetta, but it also is a thing that's impossible to do in this context, given that they were barely using that land anyway. Seeing here, assuming satisfaction can be managed, you can make armies pay for themselves pretty safely. Indeed. And of course, as we know, titles are a very solid way of using a relatively small amount of money to pay for an army. So any general that comes in at the cap should just, like, you know, you get people out, you start building your hordes, and then of course once you get to level 7 on the horde, you disable Northern Courage. It does make, as your horde gets higher in size, you do get more upkeep costs, but you know, I feel like that gets counteracted pretty easy there. So now that we're making this, we rush that and that. And build here, because we're making 1,200, you know, there, and then 1,300 in the horde income. So now we're, you know, we're paying for all the armies just out of the hordes. And especially keeping, I'm like, why are we paying Axe Band here? This is just 140 a turn that we don't have to. No, the public order is getting real wonky, but you know, maybe it'll be fine. So you just recruit the people, not even for money. Oh, that is fun. When you recruit folks in, you just pay the currency. You don't like the Yuan clan lineage sort of thing, but you don't pay gold for them. So that's pretty affordable. Makes you want to play. You flow with hordes. You flow. Yes, you know the bonus tributary is very attractive stuff. Speaking of, there's some cool new things on the horizon with faction council stuff. I think it will be implemented. We shall see. Of course, we don't have faction councils with bandits, or indeed the northern tribes, which is what we are. I mean, bandits, putting it a little strong, isn't it?
我已准备好作战了。
But making plenty of income, spending it every week. You know, that's the dream, right? To play Total War as if it is civilization. Update soon, probably. I think we're just got another new events and stuff too. And they come in and allow us to take the glorious auto against them.
把俘虏放回去吧。
Bum, 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 bum.
拿起武器。
And we'll have him roll in here, you know, for the assist. And with a sick axe stabbing motion, you know, we knock him right down. We're just taking the money because the money's the most important thing. Right, right. I don't think this dude's at war with me. And in any... Yeah, no, he's got other frying fishes. Probably should have thought about what we were going to do with the whole war front. But really, I just thought they would let me do my thing and not bother me about it. So the raiding hub, this is a sweet building too. Anything that gives the words faction-wide on a thing, I already want to pay attention to. And, you know, post-battle loop, movement range, faction-wide, movement range, and the fact that it gives you negative diplo, I'm often very unpopular. I've learned to get used to it. Mike, do we want to build this up? I mean, it's probably pretty important to get them to level 2, isn't it? But we were focusing on the hordes. We could force that one and get him building that horde building there. The refunds and everything work just fine. Like we got more. Okay, yeah, we have become a bandit, which gives us a 4th army, which we probably just want to get like right now. We lack the resources. Oh, the money. We lack the 450 money. Now I understand. I know how to read. Barely. Don't let the bookshelves lie to you. They're just for decoration, like my brain. Faction support, negative corruption, pop growth? No, no. Where do we want to go? I mean, we could just go here and get, like, the, These are the Black Mountain... You know, they might be really good, huh? Black Mountain Hunters with Snipe and... You know, why don't we just get them? I actually think... I think there's something to be... Yeah, it looks like these guys all have stock, so why don't we just get them? We need affordable armies so that we can go and get stuff, and then with enough resources get other northern things. You know, the Xianbei going to the right here with the tech instead of the left is quite nice because I consider the White Horse Raiders a nicer pickup. Plus, you can still get them at level 1 as far as I know. You could the other day, anyway. And we get General Stance's ground, and we're just hanging out over here, and we're just hanging out over here. Now, what we need to do is build this granary up. I'm like, yeah, we're doing that. Because when you get it to level 2, then you can stay in your own land and generate enough loot to pay your own army, which is the dream here, right? I mean, for a different kind of player, a good player, a strong player, you might be like, shouldn't you build up an army and crush your foes before you hear the lamentations of their oxen or whatever it is that laments? Well, yes, that's very good, and I'm all for it. However, since I am bad, no. For all that I love the battles, if there's actually something interesting in the upper level, you know, province managing thing of it, I do find that compelling, which... I feel like all of us who play this game at all feel that, you know, it's a very fine sort of diplomacy and, you know, province management thing compared to some other games. At least, you know, I come from a Warhammer background, you know, and that is
全军注意！
I'm like, the miners here... I don't think those even affect me.
坚盾护体，利剑杀敌。
But while Warhammer can sometimes be fun, you know, you don't really get to, you don't really get to have that much fun with diplomacy or marriages and alliances and stuff like that, not really, but... We're not scientific, we're just being historical. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a bunch of the northern tribes just minding their own business and quietly, we're gonna be setting up, the forges of industry and some nice granaries, I bet the Han's gonna be pleased with how Hanified we're getting. I don't know the actual word there for it. Han's probably not the root of it, right? Cynicization, but that's probably not correct, in this time period anyway. I don't know. The desire for cultural homogeneity to be enforced, which they did it in various ways through many hundreds of years, but nothing more iconic in Chinese history than somebody resettling barbarian, their words, not mine, tribes within the empire, and then later on being surprised when things did not work out exactly like they had planned for doing it. But sometimes in the short and the middle term, the results are incredible. Jin. And so they're trying to get me to give this to them, and if they don't, they're going to opportunistic all over me. But I'm going to reject it because I'm very brave.
胸无点墨，非如可食。
I'm like, that guy's on a boat anyway. Oh, that's not even the guy that I'm worried about. That dude's up there. All right. Chanters? Chanters? Oh, they must be on this one. Okay. I'm for it, okay? I'm totally for it. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like? Yeah, you get them from the Chijo, Faith Heroes of Chijo, which also gives you public order and replenishment, which is a pretty logical first step for a guy like me who perpetually needs replenishment due to his bad decision making, and all that goes with it. Here it's like we.
准备作战。
So the provision fires are only for this county. Just not the whole province, just the major one. That makes sense. See if you were charming to lose the abilities. I'm not sure. I believe Ironic said something along the lines of if you lost one, you could move them to a different horde or something, but we'll have to see. First off, we'll grab that, and then do we want to just push the buildings? Yes, of course we do. And now we'll take the pop growth. Making 1,400 from the hordes. We need to get a fourth horde out. The looter is much more reasonable, right? This is not at all like what we would identify as the normal insane looter stack, so that's pretty good. This is just like a guy with a trebuchet and one other thing. It's a very respectable thing compared to what we had been dealing with. Benefits of true income versus single general captain armies. And, you know, Kuitou gives you a 15% off on the recruitment and the upkeep to them. The looter scale, ah yes. Right now they are reputable. Alright, so here... Yeah, we're gonna run out of loot in this army. I'm choosing poorly, right? Well, we'll just have to march on over this way. Yeah, it's right there, and then we can get more. You know, we're trying to play bandits very passively, and it certainly, you know, you're not supposed to. No, you're not supposed to, but we're finally gonna upgrade those. And just being able to generate food from your horde buildings as well, like it's just very amazing stuff. If you can get away with building them up like this. This is turn 10 and we haven't done anything except been able to invest in our economy. But, you know, what if we lose one of these things? You know, maybe we don't need to be leaving our hordes out here peeking out. Maybe they should all be around the capital. That makes more sense too, you know. Tuoba, Jifen, I am so far away from Gongsundu. Even if I wanted to take this, you have no idea how long it would take me to get to that side of the map, bro. Hey, look, the tyrant Dongzhuo is dead again. Alright, so this army just needs to abandon this place, question mark? I mean, yes. Hate to do it, sort of have to do it. Because we're just going to run out of loot over there. I mean, we could raid somebody over here, but we can't defend ourselves. So we shouldn't do that. We should just go over here and get the loot. Give me the loot, give me the loot. And then we can raise a crummy little army here, right? Alright, that's expensive. Probably should have taken the level 4 guy. I thought he was a spy, though. Should have taken her. Let's grab her.
稳住阵型，把谋士叫来。
百姓们放弃此地了吗？
Alright. There's nothing that desirable here. Mighty knockback and then ballistic, yeah. And she's unhappy because she needs a title. You're an orator. That'll please her. And she's a real talker. Could have given her a pig or something, but she'll be alright. If we get that at 600, which isn't enough for another one, so there's no real point in forcing it.
准备出击。
Yeah, it's like, we can't trust that dude. She, however, was a fresh pickup, so... Cordial, cunning, and tolerant. You know, just what you need. Anyway, heir's about to grow up soon. Man, I can't wait to play Wuhuan. The yellow turban guy, whose name, to me, is the exact same as the tribe, but I'm fairly certain is not the exact same as the tribe. And we'll grow up and nothing bad will happen? Yes, exactly. Twaba Jifon. It's messed up. He comes of age. And now everybody is much happier. Of course, he's a good lad. Everybody loves him. Gives us 10% replenishment faction-wide. That's what we were waiting for.
恢复原样。
我已准备好作战了。
I'm like, I guess we'll do that because that garrison can take care of itself a lot.
切莫动摇。
Here... Wait, is this like... Oh, nobody lives here. I'm like, why am I so broke knowing nobody lives here? Everybody is terribly, terribly upset. Why? Because he gives a -4 that we didn't counteract in any way, and it just piled up forever? Yep. Well, hard knock life, right? Anyway, it's a good thing we leaned into the hordes, because unlike with Wuhuan, where we were actually making money off the towns, nobody lives here, and nobody wants to.
真是无理。
Ay, ay, ay. Is there a minor building that gives public order? Yeah, loads of them. There's gold buildings, there's garrison buildings, there's granary buildings. I think the granaries do it.
坚定不移。
No, they just give... Yeah, but like, or maybe the red buildings don't, okay. No, yeah, you get public order from red, from the garrisons, and then also from the temple building. You get eternal blue sky on one side and the circle of spirit talkers on the other. But yeah, so... Once after mine... No. Well, I mean, you get them with the bandit ones, but the bandit buildings aren't like... They're not a part of the horse tribes, right? You could build them, though. And if you could, you would definitely just build the food tents, you know, because, you know, that's what you would do, but... But we're trying to see how it ticks without those. Just spending all of the money possible on horde buildings because that's money that we don't need a population for. Like, why are we even defending this place? Does it make food even though the population's not there? Yes, we can still farm with 0 people. That makes sense. I don't know enough about farming to dispute it. You know, we didn't need to be paying these people the whole time. We didn't need to be paying any of these armies anything at all. That's the real lesson we can learn here, right? Is that we should have been shaving 1.5k this whole time. But now it's been so long that I feel like we need the money. I bet you have to be like level 6 to get these guys, and we never will be. It would be cool to get them though. More banditry income. I imagine that will only interact with the income from our commandery. But we'll see. Yeah. When you get higher population in your hordes, because they have an internal population, then you can build more buildings at a time. Again, that seems like a sweet idea, but I'm too lazy to fight anybody. Also, we're about to get a game over here. Alright, so now it's time to run to our capital and try to recruit an army that can win. Just doubtful enough.
汉贼何当落得此下场？
Alright, so what's he got? He's got... How do you kill any of them? Yeah, I take it back. I do not think that Kuitou's start is easy anymore. I literally don't know how you would ever kill these people. Back to the drawing board for the thinking, right? I'm gonna find some horse faction that I can play. When I say that, it sounds like a lie, doesn't it? Yeah, I can't conceive of any army I can put together that can even beat this single retinue. Oh well, run away.
齐心协力，这样行不通。
It's too slow. I mean, yeah, I just with the rework, I'm so bad. I just don't. I think I'm gonna have to turn it off. I haven't even done these battles, but just looking at the enemy, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Like, oh, I can't do that either. Oh, I can't do that. Like, maybe, you know, maybe there should be a level 0. You know, because I'm trying to play on level 2. I could go to level 1, but maybe there should be a level 0 for people like me.
准备作战。
大人，有话直
Alright,
说。
so if we recall this retinue, I guess we just throw that money away. We'll see if we summon her later, if it's there, but I imagine that it's gone. I just don't... I mean, she'll die anyway.
我的目标十分明确，
Yeah, we'll just go over here and wait to
心怀
lose.
前进，奋力杀敌。
Don't know why I thought this was gonna work. Didn't expect people to be so mad for so long. Yeah, I really expected us to be making at least some money here. I forget that's not always the case. So if we don't try to maximize hordes and instead, like, what do you do instead? You have one army, and then you have to win a fight? See, that sounds dumb. That's never gonna happen. I think the biggest thing about this rework is that it has completely obliterated my confidence. Like, there's nothing left of what used to remain of my feeling that I knew how to play this game. But it's like my body doesn't work. Like, my mind still sees everything and thinks it understands everything, but every time I'm in a battle, it all just falls apart again. And I don't know how anybody play. Like, I'm on normal and I can't do anything right. I don't know how anybody does
我
it.
军必胜。剑锋出鞘，攻其不备。
So we just hang out over here and then wait in here for someone to come to us eventually. I mean, we don't need a minor settlement because it doesn't help us, right? Because it doesn't, you know, it made us some food, but it's never going to make us any money. It'll literally never make us any money. But here, with everybody here, with the bandit network and the garrison, we're finally going positive on public order. So, you know, take that. Yeesh, it's so expensive. Yeah, and none of these places, of course, give us towers, because of course they don't. They're like farmland. So they offer me no benefit to try to hold them anyway. I mean, I guess the real failure is in failing to take a military contract early. But that would still require being able to win a fight, which I can't do. We don't get walls until, Tier 7, so that's never going to be a thing we can rely on here. But it'll at least take them a couple of days to get over here so we can, try to spend more money on stuff here? Sounds dumb. I don't know. Because if we buy 2 captain retinues, that already eliminates 100% of the income that we're making. To just get one pretty crummy army is all of the money we have because I'm so bad at the game. It's not that the land's not defensible. If I could win one fight, I could defend it, but I don't believe in my ability to win one fight. I barely believe in my ability to win a fight if I have towers and walls and far more than the enemy has on the field. Like, if it's a very unfair fight, then I could maybe win. That's how I feel about it. We're just gonna try to keep on building stuff, and then, you know, like, maybe it'll work, you know, maybe nothing bad will happen to us. Because all that's happened so far is that we spun up that one army, then it ended up being a waste. And we lost everything that we got so far. Which doesn't matter. We don't need any of that. It says make a lot of money hordes. Yeah, you know, the horde income plus family estates, you know, is like 5k a turn or something. Yeah. But the thing is, of course, an orphan of war. Oh, so, okay, this is a new event thing. This is amazing, right? When kids, like, show up in your faction because they're related to you, or because you have the land that's related to them or whatever. I'm not sure why Luban showed up here. This is a guy who's related to the Wuhuan, right? But, maybe the Xianbei took over his land and then was like, I don't want this kid. But that's cool. I was playtesting somebody, I forget who it was, just like messing around with stuff. And you get that pop up now, like when you take over a faction's land and you're going to inherit the kids, you don't have to raise the kids up. You can send them on their way to a family member out in the world. Alright, they're not leveled up enough to get to the better building yet. Building this one. Like, yeah, we'll... maybe someday one person will come and live here. Which, you know, realistic, right? We're standing here on the outskirts of this city that's more or less not there. And we're just hanging out at our encampments and daydreaming about a day when someone who's not a complete moron will control the armies and lead us to glory. We assume one stack costs 2,000 on average. How much can a single horde make? Let's see. And I don't know if we should assume that, because the horde levels also make the retinues more expensive, right? So, like, a captain retinue is 800 for an archer retinue or a guard captain thing, because we have a discount on them, right? And so, yeah. 2,000 would be pretty low. That would just be, like, 2 cavalry units plus 2 captain retinues without cavalry. Then you can make 700 off of the top level traders and scavengers, another 550 off the artisans for 1250, and then there's some other much smaller income there. So probably like 1,500-ish is what you're typically looking at. Because there's the big banditry one, and then the medium banditry one, and then there's a smaller one as well, but I can't see it because I don't have the building slots open right now. I guess we could force this one. Yes, why don't we just... Alright, so then there's also... Yeah, herders, which gives you a very small amount of banditry income, just 150 more at the top level. It's more about giving you cheaper recruitment. Yeah, and those are the only money-making ones. There's a couple other ones that make your retinues more expensive, but nothing that makes retinues cheaper. You get, like, some bonuses from population. I forget what they all are, but you can build more buildings. You also get, like, bonus, you get lower movement range, but you get, like, more armor and stuff like that. To money, I don't think so. And then we'll just, like, try to force him up to level 7 before we fight, and then we can get people that can fight properly in there. After you've invested 20 grand, you can get a horde to pay for half of itself. Yeah, that's the dream, right? But importantly, you're making like a decent amount from the jump. You know, you're making your 200 off of the first thing that you do. So, you know, over the 30 turns that you're trying to do that, you're already making 6 grand back just from that. There's a raptor in your kitchen. You should hide underneath a desk. He'll sign peace with us for a very small fee. Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't need that stuff anyway. Other factions might need food, not me. We're gonna say it's important to be charismatic. But, it's a super rough neighborhood. I didn't think it was so bad, but then I didn't remember that I would actually have to fight literally anybody. I'm just not, like, afraid of them like I am somebody like, you know, Yuan Shu or Cao Cao, where, you know, you're like, oh man, I can't believe that I'm next to this guy, you know. Whereas here, I'm like, I'm not afraid of any of these fools. I just, like, I'm so bad at the game that I should be. But if everybody leaves us alone for like 70 or 80 turns, then I really think we can get something going here. Importantly, because like, now I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, so could we get our hordes together and then we run like over here, right? Like somewhere in the middle of absolute nowhere, and then we lose all of our lands, and then we get cheaper retinue upkeep, right? And we get the loot, and then we just stay out over here, and then we can get way more stuff in the hordes. And if we never take any land, no, I'd still have to win a battle eventually. All right, it seemed like a good plan at the time. It's clearly not going to work.
全军注意，
We're in ambush, but we're not taking any negative winter effects here. That's interesting.
坚如盾牌。
Okay, we're not taking any winter effects at all here. That might be because it's added on, but that is interesting. No negative winter loot in Wuhuan. This is a thing that interests me. You definitely want your area to be giving people negative winter supplies. You don't want them to be casting an easy march there. For all that I say, we should have deleted these things. They're still in our armies. Obviously, we have to keep the headhunters. We can't get them back. I should have done that. I should have done that 22 turns ago. Yeah, I should have done that 22 turns ago. That's pretty bad. Alright, we are still at 0 people, but almost at neutral public order, so that's very exciting. But I mean, how? How would you even deal with that many green troops? I just don't get it. I don't understand. So you can't wait to have 0. Yeah, I know. Hey, there we go. We will release them. And become a local hero. We release the bandit.
心如利刃。
We used to have income buildings, but now we don't. We'll just we'll go to level 5. No, we'll need food production. Like, why don't we have food production? You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Alright, so now they're all about to forage. And I think the effects happen next turn. But if not, we'll see. The campaign line of sight definitely kicked on. And, you know, we're making plenty of money a turn for all that... And, importantly, we don't have anybody at war with us that's next to us, although... Long is probably going to try to hit us later. But by that point, we might actually be able to defend our capital, right? I mean, if we get very lucky. White Wolves of Wuhuan. Population growth, there we go. Should have researched that first.
我绝不动摇。
There are no buildings to do it. I believe that's even true. Which makes sense. Like, no, Lishu, I'd rather stay at war with you. We need... Oh, I know what we need. I know how to win now. We need to get to the Sanctuary of the Prince Chen. Alright. Because the Chen Royal Guard are an actually good unit that I could actually use. Because they're extraordinarily awesome. And I can get them a level 3. So this is the canonically correct thing to do for all bandits, right? Get them. I was thinking, I'm like, we should go for Fury of Beihai, and I'm like, well, you know, I bet, actually. Well, you know, we're somewhat closer to there. Alright, so thriving, right? This is the half full host size. You get 4% campaign movement range, 6% melee damage for melee infantry, 6 morale, and 10 replen. So it's very nice there, right? And that's an addition. That's you know, that's your population of the Horde things, and that's in addition to your nomadic host morale. So here, 6 for that morale, and then 6 morale for the host morale. So then, you know, you have quite high morale at this point. So if we just don't have, you know, the Northern Courage on, especially, then you have 70 morale dudes running around. Yeah, you just try to keep visibility. Yeah, once you get them there, it's like, yeah, you just run nothing in them and then, you know, spin things up when you can. But when you do that, of course, you rob yourself of the ability to get veterancy on the units unless you're, like, you know, keeping them on generals somewhere. But yeah, now these guys are just going to hang out here forever. Because doing anything else is silly. And we can build more buildings here, so we're just going to start seeing them to see, you know, what the effects are, you know, like how much diplomatic relations it is. It doesn't have the magnitude listed there. And we're making, you know, 4,500 a turn now. It's not bad. We're gonna send her to Matung. This is gonna be a smart move. She's not totally gonna get killed or anything, because I'm a fool. You can recruit in foreign land? Oh, I don't know. Don't let me lie to you. I don't think so. Energy is all well and good, but it's especially important. I mean, you get like 1% melee evasion and 1% like animal morale for each level of it. I mean, 10% 10% melee evasion at a half sort of level is pretty amazing. And he wants me to pay him for non-aggression pact. Pay him. You don't even live next to me, bro.
那就下次吧。
Just because I can't tell you apart from that other dude doesn't mean you're the same guy. And Luban comes of age. The Wolf Prince.
"准备作战。
Look at that. The people are coming back. They're happy. They want to live here now. It took 27 turns and 5.5 years, but the people are coming back. They are happy and they are welcome. All right. Oh, and you'll like this building, Luke. The Treasury of the Khan, the base level one is Treasurer. Post-battle loot and diplomatic income from tributaries. That's right. That's right, that's what you get out of that. The buildings in general are just amazing. I really like all of them. Yeah, well, to get to the top, you know, you take the negative diplo that you get from having occupied cities, whatever that is. But yeah, it's you don't have any hang up on it, correct? None of the buildings for the hordes, for the northern tribes, have a drawback on them at all. They're all just straight heat. Everything about them's good, except the main building, which has, you know, the diplo thing and the corruption like a bandit does. But everything else is strictly good. Diblets at low city levels, it must be, and then it goes away when you get,
以备来年花开。
yeah, when you get to level 7. It stops being -2. But it's just, you know, a flat 2 there, which is quite small, right? But build a shaman's yurt, and yeah, so the money, it takes a long time for these buildings to build, right? However, you know, 3,211 turns. But you can rush it for the exact same amount. So dramatically cheaper than you get to rush a building in your normal place. I thought this was too cheap, but now that I'm seeing... now that I'm seeing how bad I am... No, I mean, would this be too accessible for a strong player to rush? I don't know, I've never met one. Maybe, but I'm not going to call it a problem when I clearly don't feel confident enough to get out of my starting zone.
我已准备好作战了。
But yes, indeed. You know, there's plenty of ways to get post-battle loot, and then the tributaries, you know, once you can get a bunch of tributaries, we know that is the way to make money. And you stack those, you get one of those in all your majors. You force build it. It's probably going to cost a little bit, but it'll be worth it in no time. All right, what do we want to do here? We want to get... Yeah, because I think you can get just like a freaking 1,000 like native straight industry, and then something like a toolmaker gives you faction-wide industry. I think it's faction-wide industry on a toolmaker. So, you know, like because bandit miners are really very good. Miner settlements, that is to say. What we want to do here is realize that I'm too broke to build anything. No, it's not true. Let's build industry. In the fires of Mount Doom. Oh, right, the vassals, exactly, yeah, tributaries, but, you know, they don't get the special way to get them. Just like Zhengzheng is the only bandit, I think, that can get an immediate vassalization thing. But
敢问意下如何？
obviously being able to make people your vassals in the early game is extraordinarily good. Oh, you got the two of you that I can't tell apart on account of how your name shares some vowels. No, they don't look anything alike. One of them has a blue flag with yellow accents, and one of them has a yellow flag with blue accents. Couldn't be more different in the whole world.
甚善，再会。
They'll find each other. Isn't it beautiful? So, like, so if you were strong as a player, though, like, if you felt confident in taking literally any fight, this would all be going very differently, right? Because you would take a war contract with one of them, and then you'd be selling them cities, you'd be generating lots of post-battle loot income, you'd be generating lots of the income you get from that. Very good stuff. We have 500 Ancestral Legacy. Okay. I have no idea. I guess we've been generating that all along, actually. "15 court positions and 25 from characters." I don't know which... It says it can be increased by faction leader, air positions, and certain characters. It's used to recruit, banish, and release characters from court positions or from factions, so... so if I want to remove somebody from office, I gotta pay it. Or to kick them out, I gotta pay it. I see. I see. So you'd have to let them leave on their own from being mad. I see. That's how you lose it. Got it. So basically, if you hire somebody, it's going to be annoying to fire them. But I mean, you can just, like, let them be unhappy forever, although... If somebody's unhappy enough to leave, you know, they make other people unhappy, so I guess there's your trade-off there. And one day we're going to make money here. It sounds like a lie when I say it, but I believe it's true. We need more food. That's not food. $800's enough for a medium building. I mean, 15%'s pretty big. And anybody who's not like me wouldn't be playing this way. I don't actually think the satisfaction's that bad. Not on normal anyway. Because you're passively generating your ancestral thing, and that counteracts the negatives that he gets from his trait. And then, you know, it's just 2 years till the kid grows up and he gives you 10. But on higher difficulties, I do remember caring much more about satisfaction. But there's no risk of me playing on a high difficulty again. Alright, so is 6 the similar values thing from that effect? Let's see. now. No, not you. We'll wait till next turn. They usually don't take effect immediately. Alright, but it was at 6 from similar values, so we'll see if that changes. Because the D count as a northern tribe, I think. The kid's supposed to rebel. Ah, that's what y'all were talking about. I was like, yo, y'all keep speaking so ominously. I'm like, I'm sure we'll see it when we see it. Like, the kid's got really good bonuses, though. But I gotta... I didn't stream all day. I was messing around with this and stuff, but I got rid of my shift today and tomorrow. I know I just got off vacation, but I wanted another one. But you know. So, I'll be around tomorrow. I'll probably be streaming through the day tomorrow, unlike today. It was nice to just lay around and sleep in and not talk. I know it must seem like I can't stand to shut up, but sometimes, in spite of my natural proclivity for taking up all the air in a room, I find it pleasing to be quiet. Only every now and then, not too much, obviously not very much. Alright, let's check that Diplo again. Yeah, it still says 6 on the similar values there. It's probably just the base ones. Maybe they're not northern enough. Because it just says diplomatic relations with the nomadic tribes. It doesn't say the magnitude of that or what it means. I just thought it would, the D don't have northern courage. And they're not nomadic, I guess, yeah. I thought they counted, but that makes sense. Oh yeah, I remember, that's right, because I liked the D cataphracts, because they got the axes and they don't run away. Speaking of they don't run away, here we see level 7, the host. And what does it do? Well, when you look at the Xianbei headhunters, you no longer see the hated blue fan. Which means that this whole army now can take advantage of, you know, the good units we've got access to without ever worrying about them running away again. No, I mean, they might run away, but they do have 70 morale, right? Did you shoot up Northern Courage? Ah. Yes. Well, you know, we do pay more. We do pay more. They were already, I don't know the base, but like 370. But yeah, getting up to disabled Northern Courage does make you pay 20% more for your retinue. So, you know, you're getting, I guess at level 6, you also, yeah, at level 6, it's disabled also. But, and, oh, importantly, we didn't even touch on this. You get prestige from the main Horde building as well. So that's another thing for what we're doing. You know, if you just focus on doing Horde stuff, you only need one place to kick yourself all the way up to the top. If you can make enough Hordes, you know. You can get 8, you can get, you know, well, you know, maybe not all the way there, but, because all the buildings don't give you prestige, it's just the main one. But 30 per Horde, you know, plus what you can get from majors and minors and your bandit web, because the bandit web gives you, prestige. A lot of people don't think of it that way, but it does. Yeah, gigantic replin. It might be time to go and try to pick a fight. But it looks like Euphalo is going to be here really soon, and then he'll take Shuofeng, and then he'll attack me, and then I'll go in here and take it, and then to save on postage. All right, what's happening in here? That's right. We put a spy in with his faction. Look how good that's working out. She's just hanging out right now, but we still got visibility. He's over here paying 39 for Chong Warriors and a $1.36 for Chong Marauders, and I'm here, 196 of the North, playing like I'm on my Zhongzhong campaign again. 130. I should play Ma Chao. Now I'm actually thinking, I'm like, you know what? Ma Chao. I should play Ma Teng. I should play Ma Teng. Look at what they're paying for these troops. Look at what they're paying for them. I gotta get in this faction. Because if they're paying that, I can bring 2 armies to every fight. Alright, guys. Tomorrow, Ma Teng's got something new I can look at, right? It's, no.
坚定不移。百姓们放弃此地了吗？
So you can get the Xianbei Sword Guard Cavalry, which are, of course, amazing. And they've got the supportive criticism buff. Range block chance, fizz resist, yeah, so it's quite good. Getting them, and cause basically all of our stuff is pretty great now. Now that they won't run. Alright, what's going on between the two of them? Okay, the Xianbei Horse Archer is just better than the Hardened Skirmisher in every way, or Hardened Skirmisher has resist cold and ignore forest penalties. Well, and there's a significant armor boost and ammo. Oh, but yeah, the Hardened Skirmisher arrow damage is 16 higher. 42 versus 26 per shot. It's pretty big. But I mean, I guess they're lighter, you know. The Xianbei Horse Archers and them have the Xianbei Horse Archers also have less range than they do. Yeesh. Xianbei get Guerrilla, and the Hardened Skirmishers are disciplined. Well, we'll see how it pans out. Now, it's almost time for us to get an army, but, you know... the longer we can wait, right? Yeah, because we're not really having satisfaction problems at all here. At this point. Well, because you get 10 there, but I guess we're supposed to have a civil war. But nobody told me.
全军听令。
Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. People living here again. 194 income. Balling out. Let's go to level 5. Let's kick this into high gear. No, but unironically, it's gonna work. This is fine. Everything is gonna be okay. Y'all don't need to worry. I encourage you not to worry. We're gonna be fine. This playtest is not gonna go down like it looked like it was gonna. We probably won't get a game over right now. Nah. We would have a little bit of warning. This is an awkward place to invade, right? It's, there's a lot of walking to do over here. There's a river. The computer's not like me or you. They're not gonna, like, declare war when they're outside the gate. You know, they don't plot like that. If they do plot like that to you, then, like, sorry about you. They don't usually do that. They must not like you. I don't know what's up with that. This dude is the heir. I guess the redeploy is what we want there. It's super awkward to get to it, but we'll just get him the thing that makes him better. I must have played this game for about 550 hours till I looked at the plus. I think I said out loud, man, I wish there was like a button that I could hit, and then I could use that button to, you know... Oh, sustainability. Yeah, there you go. We love sustainability here, folks. We are all about loot for own army. If you ask me, my #1 priority, it's loot for the own army. Yeah, I didn't even know if it was in base game or not. But because I forget what faction I was playing at the time. It might have been Liu Biao. It might have been like the first time we was here. But I was just... It's not... Okay, awesome. Well, then that explains why I never noticed it all the times that I was playing vanilla.
战况焦灼，也许停战才会更。这可怪不得别人。
Well, you know, I've got to thinking. Not for the beta test, but like maybe the reason I can't play, right? Maybe the reason I'm so bad is because I'm straying away from where my heart should be, right? Maybe I need to believe in good generals again, even under the rebalance, right? Maybe I need to believe in my boys, the brothers, right? Maybe that's what I gotta do. Because proportionally, generals are basically how they were, they're just different. So proportionally, they still should be very good. And I got to thinking about it when we were playing with our very pedestrian generals with Zhongjin the other day. I was like, man, if these guys had... Because I was complaining, you know, not like... I hope no one takes my criticism of my own ability to play the game as a criticism of the balance of the game, because I actually do think it's fascinating, and one day I hope to be good enough to play it. But I said something along the lines of, if I had the Brothers of the Peach Garden and an Imperial army, I don't think I could have won this fight. And someone said, no, like, you could have won it. And I was like, well, you know, I do not know what they actually play like in this, you know. Maybe if I just put them on foot and some green stuff, you know, in the infantry, they'll actually wreck shop, you know. Like, I've seen them do that before. If they're a quarter as powerful as before, they could still do absolutely bonkers things. I'm just going to building archers. Yeah, the archers have double hit points now. You know, because they used to have a half-scale hit points, and now they do not. And then, of course, there's reduced speed on basically everybody, and reduced speed reduces collision damage and everything like that.
But even with the reduced speed, so the Xianbei horses are still very fast. We were talking about this earlier. 85 speed, and then they all basically have nature's allies. So these dudes are still running around at 100. The mass of the horse is, of course, a lot lower than without the overhaul. But at 100 speed, you can still do wonky things. It's not like, you know, some vanguard on a little silly horse that isn't really achieving his objectives. Now here, this guy needs to get that. And these are so amazing. Like, I'm very excited to one day play one of these factions and have the money I need to play it right. Fletchers. Ammo for all units, range damage for crossbows, and then you can get more range, 25% more range, and 25% more armor. Y'all, have you ever thought about a Qin Royal Guard with 25% more range, and 25% more ammo, and 25% more range damage, and 25% more armor in a faction that gets to have a horde building? I have thought about this. I've thought about it today for 2 or 3 minutes, and it was awesome. I invite you to share those thoughts. Cavalry strategy range in general. Yeah, I do struggle, especially with suppression being so strong with shutting it down, but I guess it's that fundamentally cavalry is supposed to be more historical feeling, right? You know, you don't just send it out to hit the enemy backline. Like, that's what you do if the enemy reserve is already engaged and everything. But with suppression, it's tricky, of course. They have really good range is the other problem that other early game range, they have like 50 armor and like 220 range. So they trade with most other ranged units, or at least I feel like they would. And, but the real winner in this game is the Qin Royal Guard. Whooshing model water damage. Ah, yes, yes. And then that's why, like, because Yellow Cav is what's really good at dealing with the infantry now, which I love because or in this case, Purple Cav, which is the province exclusively of the Xianbei. I think Cav is probably best used in, you know, small amounts. And I just don't have the patience for it. Or, if you're somebody who really benefits, I mean, we saw how much Ma Teng was paying for his Cav, right? He's paying 136 for Chung Marauders. If you have that, I guarantee you something's going on with them that makes it worth paying. But we can't all have every bonus in the world. Only Ma Teng can have that. No, I'm just joking. He's hardly the luckiest guy. Have you met his son? Big personality, that guy. No, I blame the wrong guy. You know, a lot of people do that, and I do it too. You know, so I still resent Ma Chao, even though he didn't do the thing I resent him for. It's like, you know, when somebody punches you in a dream and you wake up and demand that they apologize. Or in this case, Guan Yu. Best infantry archers, yeah, with a small amount of cavalry, because the charging and stuff that you can do or chasing down routing units is incredibly effective. Because once you start breaking something off
and then they're running away. If you have a unit of melee cavalry, they're really, really super good at cutting them down. Melee cavalry have like a plus 40 or 50 bonus versus infantry now. So they both do huge amounts of damage, and they don't miss due to melee evasion, even if they're not flanking something. So it's really just a matter of, you know, being opportunistic enough. It's red cav that I think are in, you know, a trickier spot, because I guess I would want just like one unit of them to snipe a hero abstractly. I say, having never won a real battle in this game. No, that's not fair. The other day I played for like 50 turns and had one fight with Liu Chong. We're basically on that scale here. Counter range, use yellow cavalry. That'll use put your red cavalry in for the infantry. I've been struggling a lot. I've been struggling a lot. That's doing a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm using that word too much. See? We varied it a little bit. Good stuff. It was that my cavalry, if I tried to like flank an attack, maybe I was just doing it and the blob fights were too big. I think that might have been what it was. I was just getting too many units in. It's like I just wouldn't maneuver them right, and like they would get in, and anything green, just, you know, with their massive bonus, they just shredded it. And it was just like, all right, if I have my guys that felt like I was just supposed to keep them in the back, I'm like, all right, so the key is not to use not to use anybody at all. And like, just don't use the cavalry until later. But you know, there were a couple of like siege defenses that I got to use. I feel like too, maybe a lot of my feeling about it. So like a lot of my battles that I did early in campaigns, you know, they're siege battles, and then I got stressed out because I didn't understand what was going on, and you know, leading to the crisis of confidence that we're still experiencing today. But because I played a whole lot earlier today, but I had it on easy, and I didn't even do but one fight, because I was just like, I'm gonna play with the overhaul, but I'm totally not at all. I'm just gonna see what happens on the map. Traumatized me. I'm only joking. I'm not traumatized by being bad at this video game. I've been bad the whole time. I watched competitive Warhammer 3, like that's one of my hobbies, watching competitive Total Warhammer 3. So I'm fully aware of how terrible I am at Total War. But I still really like it. So, you know, I hope that I can inspire somebody out there to not care that they're bad at something. I hope. I'm just playing. It's not really what I'm going for. I want to inspire people to, like, read, you know? Read a book, kids. Stop watching my video. Anyway, he's offering us some mercenary contracts against my eye. I don't even know that guy.
如此只得作罢。
But we are about to afford an army, and then we'll see what we can do. Hey, she successfully infiltrated. But we'll just wait. Getting 25 cover a turn. She's great at this. She won't get too happy because it's Matong. No one's ever been too happy there. The young emperor comes of age. I should send him a horse. You could say it feels more reliable overall, occasionally cheaper to counter range with more range rather than when fragile spins cavalry. Yes, I think so too, but desirable as a historical analog, right? Because cavalry is, you know, expensive, hard to train, problematic to transport, and very, very prone to disastrous things. Like, you know, we don't simulate the actual physical damage that would happen to a cavalry unit when they run through a forest, right? We slow them down we don't simulate the physical damage that would happen to the horses when they are running across a riverbed, which is bonkers to do. Look, I love it. It's great cinema, and it's fun to do in the game, but the idea that you're going to take, like, you know, and I'm not saying it didn't happen. Obviously, stuff like this does happen, but it is sketchier than anything to do, right? I didn't have horses growing up. We had, like, a pony, and we had one. You couldn't ride him. His name was Hawk. He wasn't very nice. He was cool, though, you know, like, just didn't get too close to him, and then he wouldn't kick you. What are you gonna do? He, like, you know, pretty sure he murked, like, 150 coyotes in his time that were trying to mess with the goats. Anyway, good pony. I digress. The point that I'm making is that I have met other horses before, and the thing about horses is they can get hurt by anything. So, by anything. And if you're just trying to, like, run horses across terrain that you haven't scouted in combat conditions through trees, and, you know, like, really they shouldn't work well at all. The level of carelessness that you could behave with in cavalry in Total War is already just far outside of what should be permissible. It was a very nice thing I always hear about horses. Otherwise, you know, sometimes they're lovely, but you know, I'm as guilty of this as anybody. But there's, you know, there's a temptation to think about animals in human ways. You know, they don't really exist on a nice and not nice axis, but it makes sense to talk about them that way. But no, in that that book series that I'm always bringing up by S.M. Sterling, The Emberverse, the first one's Dies the Fire, but whatever, the fourth book, whenever the kid grows, no, it's when he's a kid. They do an Alexander and Bocephalus moment where the child Rudy, who later grows up to be a hero, has the wild horse in the corral that no one can ride, and then he's like, "I'll ride her," and jumps on her and stuff, you know. Calls the horse Epona, great stuff. And but there's a line that the horse guy uses there. It's like, she ain't looking at you that way because she loves you. And that is like, that to me is like what a horse is. Like, they don't look at you the way they do because they love you. They don't get us like that. We don't get them like that. But I have known a couple of horses that were super nice. We just didn't own them. We had, like, somebody gave us Hawk, right? You know, like they, you know, they didn't want him anymore, so we were happy to take him. Relatively happy. So you just need to be kept in reserve to lines. Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, using medium or heavy cavalry as just sort of like a first strike thing, like an alpha strike sort of theory, is not what they're for here. Just my predilection, right, is to do that, to try to engage their heroes and cavalry before the lines clash at all, and then pick them apart on the approach. That doesn't really function in this at all, which we haven't proved because I haven't done a single battle in like 2 hours. But you know, Liu Chong is assassinated by Yuan Shu. This is a terrible day for China and indeed thus the world. I think we're gonna fire you even though you're cool, because, you know, it's just gonna... Oh, we have to do it through the menu. No, we don't. Yeah, we're just gonna fire you. Yeah. I'm like, and there you go. It's 40. You know, you can fire one guy a turn and still make a little bit more. But we are decaying on the Pact to Secession. At the very bottom, it is, you know, fine, actually. Oh yeah, so you don't get satisfaction problems unless you're doing well. Okay, now I understand. Yeah, you get 50% higher desire for higher office, but if you don't if you don't do well at all, then you just get your bonus satisfaction from this, and you don't have to worry about it. We're going to enter the Broken Road level pretty soon. Is Red Cav better, much less survivable? Well, see, I wouldn't say that Red Cav are necessarily better at it, right? Red Cav have that big bonus versus large, but 50 bonus versus infantry, that's applied to base damage and the other, you know, off of the charge. Sure, you're going to be getting way more off of the charge bonus, but how long do you remember your charge bonus? Guess under ideal circumstances, you would play the game properly. But I can never, like, that's not how I can plan for the future, right? That's silly. I won't play properly. I've got to prepare realistically for what's going on. Our retinues are now more expensive. And better. Oh, we leveled up again. And when you get to Raider, you get advanced captain retinues. There you go. Which are now going to be hardened archers and untried spears, or the brute spears and untried blades. So, or, yeah, so pretty solid little stuff there. Because they're incredibly easy to lose and not easy to use. Yeah, I think Red Cav I would just want one unit of to countercharge Red Cav when they're already embroiled in my spears, or to try to bog down one of their heroes that gets in. You know, one unit of Red Cav, one unit of Yellow Cav, one horse archer to be annoying, because being annoying is very important. And then yeah. Couple of spears, whole bunch of purple, whole bunch of blue, and a couple of heroes that I never do anything with except talk about. No, don't break it. Just one more turn and we'll get another building here. If you want to count on cavalry, a good unit of horse archers does it for free. Maybe. Like, if you play right, but I can't gamble on that, right? You know, everything falls apart if I have to play right. Oh, did you remove Northern Courage from the garrisons? I remember you said, ironic, that you were thinking about doing that. That's very excellent. Or is it just because he's there? I don't think that's the case. Yeah. All right. That's very good. I had been thinking a lot about that, about how much it would stink to be in a garrison and have your dudes just run away because the AI was taking their sweet time or something. You know, just like being very human about it. Maybe I shouldn't have held on to these axe bandits this whole time. Why am I the way I am? It's too late to get rid of them now. I mean, it isn't. but everything we need, of course, is in Chen. Everything we need is in Chen. Choose to master helicopter. Like, yeah, you gotta remember how I play dwarves, right? I never play right. Alright. Available army? Yes, please. Why not? I'm like, should I learn what I'm doing? No, this will be better. Dispose of a body, easy peasy. Let's see if she'll be upset later. She's always a fun pickup on account of how she knows how to ride a horse. And that always makes me feel like I'm doing well. Oh yeah, we've got things here. Alright, so when you get to this one... Yeah, lower 5 charge speed, you know, there's a lot of good stuff here. Chance of avoiding ambush, that's probably the least bad of the bad things that there is, right? So, and then this is plus 10 loot in enemy territory, food, and yeah, you know, it's stuff. We lose a little satisfaction, it's fine. It's the relentless enforcer that makes people not desire higher office, I think, but we need to recruit somebody ere too long. Conceded talent, why not? Like, I haven't met Liu Chong. This guy is definitely a spy. Oh yeah, 192 a turn. Ballin'. Oh! I did not realize. You can only get one of each of the things in there. I thought you could get all 3 of them. Well, much lower ceiling than I had thought. However, you can... That's just for, probably the economic ones. You can get the military buildings and still get a garrison building plus something else. Yes, that is interesting. I thought it was a million billion industry income. I spoke too soon. This is why I test, right? I didn't write down that I thought it was too much. I just thought in my head that it was too much. And I thought I would see, and it isn't. Again, I'll say it a few thousand more times. I imagine that a player that knows how to play would be able to leverage a lot of what's going on for success, but I'm not that player. But I think it's clear to me that the bones of the absolute best playthroughs possible are right here in these horse factions. These hordes are amazing. I just got to figure out how to play the game, right? Because this... And I did approach this... Like, we're testing, I wasn't trying to, you know, go as far as I could. I wanted to see, like, what it would look like doing this. And we're seeing. But... Because if we could just, like, take a fight or two and win, this would look dramatically different. If we could just take a contract or two and win, we would be in a hugely different position, which is fine, you know, because it doesn't take but 20 grand to get yourself up to no Northern Courage anymore, and you can force build that all in one turn. It's not that expensive. So for all that my timidity is making it look like I'm stuck in here, that's a me thing. That's not... Like, again, you wouldn't have to win that many fights. You would just have to, you know, have the confidence to win any fights at all, which I don't have. But then when we finally take a fight, I bet I'll win it. Did I break the mod yet? No, not yet. All I have, you know, I have just been, you know, processing my, my feelings of inadequacy that, that playing, this brings out of me. But I'm fine. I'm not upset about it. I feel inadequate all the time. No, I was just mainly talking about how I was seeing in the future how a player that knew how to play could definitely have all of the best campaigns out of the horse tribes of the north. I really think it's a fascinating implementation, just highly desirable buildings, and not that expensive to get everything up. I just, you know, because I'm a coward, you know, and don't deserve to rule China. Things have been a little wonky here, but no, we've just been building up our stuff, and everything continues to work, except for, I'm not sure here. Euphalo's here now. We'll see if we get a bonus to his diplomacy that we can notice. That's the only thing that we haven't seen working, but. Speaking of Ford, you know, poor Captain Retinues, if it comes to that, which the cavalry retinues are just shockingly expensive, right? I mean, 10 grand? Maybe they're real good, but 10 grand? And 3,800 a turn? You know, it's like, anyway, I imagine you use these for the infantry, and, because of that cost for the cavalry, like, why do you... Maybe there's other ways to get discounts. But no, I feel like you definitely got to use the infantry. I don't... You know, the... my limited amount of analytical ability on the mod has said that you won't find, you know, success by going all cavalry. We're just gonna keep on building a bunch of buildings, and a non-aggression pact? But you don't even live next to me. Why are you even worried about me? What, because like 10,000 people finally live here? Oh, we didn't meet Euphalo, he was just right there. And now it says similar values as 7, so maybe... Maybe one of those buildings just took a little while to register with him. Well, we'll see here in a couple of turns when we build a few more of them, right? Yeah, no, it's all stuff to increase the retinue upkeep that we haven't got here. But yeah, we got fatigue rate, Diplo, pop growth, and line of sight, and food, amazing. And then it's recruitment cost for cavalry units, but I don't think that's applying to the captain retinues. It probably isn't supposed to, right? Whatever it's marked as there, but yeah. So I guess the retinue upkeep, it is, yeah, I gotta remember it is higher, but 20% higher. So it's not really 2,880, right? It's what, 2,410. Alright, what do we want to do now? We want to go pick a fight? But where? Supposed to make stuff on this first. Indeed, that would be the way to do it.
我已准备好作战了。
But yeah, we're still thriving here, but we're about to get into the top ranked thing, which will, you know, give us the cool effects on top of everything else. And then it'll be time to muster up. Making 40 a turn. Amazing. The tooltip for on bandits for rush building is off by a factor of 10, right? This is not unique to the beta. I noticed this in my Zhengzheng campaign. So it says 105 here, but it will be 1,050. This is not a carryover into the Horde buildings, which are what they say on the 10, right? Whenever I first saw the rush thing, I thought it would be an X10 thing, but it wasn't actually. So that's nice. So Shaman's here. You can get 25 negative fatigue right there, and he already... No, it's not him. It's somebody else. Anyway. Oh yeah, the horse is fatigue. I'm like, why do I think they're fatigue resistant? And then it's up here. You get it out of the faction trait. So you can get up to very, very high fatigue reduction there. So out of the faction maxed, and then just that one building, right? Just the one building, you're at negative 75% fatigue rate. So really, really close to all the way there. Was it because of a remote contract? Let's see, recruit in unfriendly territory. I think the Merc contract lets you treat their territory like you're in a military alliance with them. But in the Zhengzheng campaign, that was because, yes, we had a contract with him to fight the Yellow Turbans. That's what we started with. And that's why we got to move through his lands and get the friendliness, and then we did the recruiting, and then we popped over Luoyang Wei. Yeah, over to Hedong, exactly. It was because you're landless. It's definitely the landless thing. From memory, it gives you military supplies and 50% off of retinue upkeep, and I think a foreign replenishment kick of like 8% or something. But should we take this? I mean, that'll let us run through his lands and get to him? Yeah, why not?
那就如此。
Time to kick this into overdrive, or rather, first gear. And we need to get over there and fight him before we get fired. Time to spin up an army, alright. Zhongnuk have scare, which could be desirable.
百姓们放弃此地了吗？
And then we just want... It's like, whenever, I'm like, this guy's not even the Ma clan that I'm thinking he's from. He's from down south there. Like, well, he seems like a disreputable fellow who's hard to get along with, but that alone doesn't mean that he's trustworthy. Red Soaked Hitman, where are you from, buddy? Feijon? Well, that means that you're fine. This guy has the Bright trait. This guy is the best kind of guy. So for bandits, Bright is very amazing. Bright gives you 10 loot to your own army. Bright is, for that reason, basically all you need for an army to stick around, right? Because there's plenty of ways to get 5 or 15 if you get the right ancillary, but just Bright lets you stay in your own territory and not need anything. So very, very desirable. We're just going to get him in here and drop the Archer Militia. 'Tis a silly thing, and then what we want to do is like one of these Lancers, right? And then some of the bandit gang, and then we're just gonna take like some of the other crummiest dudes that we've got. Do we want any more cav to fight against the overwhelming odds that we're about to face? Let's take one more red one, right? And then, yeah, we're almost out of money. It'll be okay. We'll also get to see if this is going to be important, actually, right? Because I don't know. We're going to get to see if it's going to say we're going bankrupt and give us a bankrupt penalty because the outlays aren't, like, thought about. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, the red income on the left, but we do have to see, because if it says we're going to be bankrupt from the negative, but actually we're going to be getting over the zero, we'll just have to see where the stack is. You will go bankrupt. Hooray! Why does it sound like I'm excited? Because I had a thought and it ended up being relevant. That's very exciting to me. Alright, so...
暂缓行动。
Just get him, and then we'll just go and grab... these guys, and if we stay, like, right here, we should be okay.
满怀信念，奋力一战。
You make net positive reports, yes. The reason that I had that idea, Luke, is because the way that it is here in the treasury is off in. It's scripted to input the stuff. It says banditry income, right? But it is coming in as if in a block, is how I imagined it, although I didn't ask. Start, yes. That's why I was so pleased to learn that the bankruptcy would actually affect the thing, because I was like, I wonder how it works, but in like an indistinct way where I'm never going to actually learn, you know, just the shallowest level of curiosity. Man, I'm so glad I didn't go to work today. Alright, and now we're going to... we're going to give him the old respectfully decline because we need to be able to get over here or he's going to get mad. If you give him the old respectfully decline, you can basically only fight like one time and you'll be able to make your way through. And here we want to get... yeah, Xianbei horse archers, you guessed it. And a repeating... oh, bandits don't get 'em. Bandits don't get 'em. He's level 2, he would totally get 'em. I'm sure somewhere in here there's some repeating crossbow. Yep, right there. I found it. I was like, I'm gonna go to where the Juga clan is from. Went to work today and everyone finding coins. Ugh. Yes, I,
准备出击。
the other day... oh, no, not like that. The other day I was talking to my boss and I was just like, look, what's the least I can work for you? Don't say none.
坚如盾牌，势如利刃。
You're slated for jury duty, but they cancel 50 minutes before the time you're supposed to check if you're supposed to appear or not. Classic. You know, there's nothing better than being ready to do your civic duty and then ultimately have it unnecessary, right? It's like, whenever one of my friends or anybody is like, oh, I need help moving or whatever, I'm like, I can help you tomorrow. And then, you know, if they need help tomorrow, then I can help them. But if not, I'll be like, oh man, you know, I was all booked up with everything except tomorrow. So, like, it was a shame. Like, I was ready to do my civic duty and all. I was going to do jury duty for you, but I could only do it tomorrow. Of course, as this has begun to be a known personality trait, people will ask me, knowing that if it is tomorrow, I will be willing to do it. Because my thing is, I just don't want to, like, have an obligation in the future that I have to think about fulfilling. Like, ever, right? I'm very lazy. So, if I just say, look, I'll help you tomorrow, that's alright.
稳住阵型。
And here we get, yeah, so you get a neutral amount of loot, but of course we have a sound from characters here, because this dude is deceitful, which if we put him in command, that would give him some more, but you know. Negative 25 character experience when present. Why are we hiring him? Oh, because if he's in charge, he gets that. Well, we're going to get rid of him soon enough. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. Exactly, Luke, exactly. Because if you want me to help you in 2 days, I'm going to have to spend all day tomorrow thinking about how I got to spend some of the time the next day helping you. And that's like, you know, that's too much. Nobody should be able to demand that much of my time. And you might think, do you have to think about that? Oh, yes.
召集商贾，我要视察一下他们的货物。
But yes, another snowy winter up here in 198. But it's nice and warm here in the ambush camp of Chong, who is the incense master. And we probably should have given that builder to the guy who is the admin. That would have been what a smart person did, ish. Oh, Scholar, why is that not on the air? Who I thought was going to betray me. Y'all made me think that the Xianbei prince wasn't going to be my best friend. Having an appointment at 1 p.m. Exactly. And the Shu is like, oh man, he's on his way. I'm like, yeah, we coming, buddy.
这可怪不得别人。
Good night, ironic. The next Han campaign should have those new faction council options. Oh, fun. Yes, we'll try to get into like one fight here and then wrap up for the day. But I am planning on playing a big old chunk tomorrow, so maybe I will see you then. And if not, well, hope you have a good day and see you around. Here, the one big battle, we're gonna get it. Should have brought another army with us, but we don't have enough money for another army. Oh right, and it's like absolute madness to get over here.
修整一番，就能坚耐如故。
One other benefit of income, no corruption. Exactly. Gets around that problem. Hey, Peng De! What up, big guy?
请君三思。那就下次吧。
He offered us a summer contract? Does that mean this one's about to expire because he just pieced out with them? Probably. And we'll get offered the thing. I think that's what this is meaning. Yep, that's exactly what happened. I was contracted with Huang Ong against Ma Teng, Ma Teng already declared an alliance war with Han Sui against me, so I had to.
稍事休息。一往无前。
But you know, the thing is that now that it's hostile territory, we actually get more loot. And really, it's on him for dropping a contract in the middle of everything. Alright. Our forces are evenly matched. Our advisors predict a Pyrrhic victory. You know, the general principles are there, right? They lack shields. We don't lack ammo. We've got an amount of guys, and we've got stone-cold killers in the Xianbei headhunters. Look, we know Pong De is the real one. But he's still only swinging for 1,200, you know, with a 20 bonus first cav. Is he going to challenge us to a bunch of duels? Yeah, we're going to have to reject them. Let's do it. We've got a beautiful, wide open spaces. You can sing all the Dixie Chick songs you want, but I won't. I don't know all of the words. I'm lying. I just don't want them to get mad at me for refusing to use their modern name. Look, I just know you by the old one. I agree it was in poor taste, but you're the ones that picked it. Hot take. Anyway. So there's this folk punk band that I really like. Probably talked about it before. They're called AJJ now, but they used to be called Andrew Jackson Jihad, which they don't go by anymore because they decided it was offensive. But they made music under that for, like, you know, ever. For, like, more than a decade. So I'm just like, look, you break it, you buy it. You're not salvaging your reputation by deciding that the offensive thing that was always offensive is now too offensive for you to want to, like, back up on. I'm still calling you by the old name, guys. Anyway, big fan of AJJ. Rain out here. Yeah, you know, the winter is coming down. It's a good day in the desert. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, they've got for 480 seconds. For 8 minutes, they get speed and no fatigue gain for everyone in their army. For all of their Chong units. Makes sense. They don't have any hunters here, so we're going to be able to get on the harass. And we're gonna run away after losing. Oh my goodness. You know, they did way better there than I thought they would. 17 of our guys go down. You know, a lot of them shot at me, and every single one of them worked. You know, it just goes to show. It's gonna be very funny when I, like, spend the whole game, get everything, get 70 morale on everyone, and still get crumbled here. No, I think we'll be fine because they only have like 40 morale, and we have significantly more than all that. Lack of formations for a lot of our guys, even the higher ones. You know, I guess you probably need like a book. Because here we'll be seeing what should be very, very efficient. Yeah, look at that. They're just the Marauders can't keep up with firepower of this magnitude. Yeah, I think they're gonna they charge in, they charge right into the bandit gang, who immediately demolish them. But Pengde's over here, so we need to go and cut him down. But this only looks like a madhouse. We're totally winning. That's right, the strategist has to... Oh, that's, Oh, we dismounted our guys. We didn't, I hit the dismount button, not the other one, which is actually probably a lot smarter, right? Because they do have spears and anti-large, and they don't have anything to really deal with our guys on foot, so dismounted is the way to be. And now we're gonna see how good our units are at running down. So, alright, so because it could be that, I mean, actually we're so if you have gigantic power, Pengde gets tuned up and runs. Yeah, but see, the thing is here is this is like an in-game quality, but mid-game army. So we actually dramatically win, right? Because we have 55 morale on bandit gangs and 90 morale on the Xianbei sword guard. But importantly, it's not about fighting fair. It's about me seeing that I totally can win. All I have to do is this. Because the first step to being sort of good is being terrible, unless it isn't. But against an army with no shields, we do very well indeed. These guys have 300 kills and don't even have Mighty Knockback. You know, 60 in the unit though, so they are better, you know, better than Han Cavalry in every way. You know, 20 more models is worth its weight. But, you know, they helpfully just charged right in. But that's why you gotta have just, like, one unit of cav archers, right? You gotta have something to make them come to you. That used to be my heroes, but now they're so vulnerable. I was saying why he's so slow. It's like he's on foot. Anyway, a glorious victory. Alright, so what we really learned from that is that... What did we learn? Yeah. Just... If you get established horde buildings, then your army will be amazing by 198 or so. And or whenever you do it. And as soon as you can pay for one mid-range horde unit, I mean, that was... We're against Ma Teng's faction here, we're against our #1 prey faction, right? We're against a faction who has unique purple and green and red units, all unshielded, all things that are perfect for an archer plus infantry sort of block. So they're playing like a northern faction would, and we're playing smarter. Yep. Turtle up. Build your horde. The other ones getting online, probably pretty important because, I mean, they do make their money. At some point, the thing is, though, is if you win early fights, if you're capable of putting an army together with bandit gangs and stuff early, because you have access to bandit gangs and archers, and you win fights, you'll get so much more money, and then you'll be able to kick this on whenever, because all you need... It's 2,400 for level 6, it's 3,200 for level 7, right? And at level 6, that's what turns off the Northern Courage. It's only, like, I would have to count it up, but, you know, I think it's... We'll just do this real quick so that we can see. The downgrade button doesn't work here. It's probably not legal because of the amount of buildings. Yeah, here we go. It just takes a turn. So I'm thinking... Yeah, okay, so it refunds half of it. So yeah, 2,400, 1,800. So you'd be able to get up to tier 6 for, what, like 16k, probably something like that? And for that amount of money to be able to get there, okay, bam, that's going to get you 8 more morale. When you get to thriving, more morale there. There's a building that's not that expensive, more morale there. You can get like 20 morale there and turn Northern Courage off for like 20 grand. And with that, a decent player should be able to get something going. Even I was able to beat Pengde with the stack, and, you know, normally I would have been very afraid there, but, you know, in this neighborhood, if you're against unshielded stuff, you know, an army like mine worked. So there you go. And of course, we know Xianbei headhunters are cracked and will absolutely kill any general in the game. They're even better than they used to be, and generals are so much worse. But anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. We'll be back around tomorrow playing something Han, probably checking out the new effects and seeing what goes on there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Good night, Luke. Good night, Ironic. Good night, everybody. So good to see y'all, and I hope you have enjoyed. Good night, Sense from Undertale, and everybody else. I will be around all day tomorrow. See ya. Today's the next one. If you don't get dropped to him, you feed him any land, you take him to the game. That was my original plan, but he attacked me too early. Because, after all, we'll be able to turn right around and just prey on him. Yeah, exactly. Alright, anyway.